screensaver turning on a computer. And that external world then just drains all the way, and that last grain of sand like drops down and enters into the internal, and then I'm like, I'm there. But the second you start to move, it almost like rotates and starts going the other direction, you know?
Jeez. All right, here's a question, and this is way out of my expertise at all. I wouldn't know what's good or what's not good, but floating on DMT. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on that?
It sounds like it would be crazy, but for a very short period of time, because DMT is supposed to be a very short experience where it doesn't last very long, you know, like maybe the powerful, you know, experiencing the G-force of blasting off sort of feeling, and that kind of maybe a couple minutes, and then the actual sort of like after effects or the come down lasting, you know, maybe 15-20 minutes. I think you'd be left maybe feeling pretty comfortable in the tank, but it would probably be a little...
Do you think anybody could get hurt?
I don't think so, because... I mean, maybe. Depends how hard you would, like, really hit it, I guess. I wouldn't recommend anybody trying to, like, you know, go for the Hail Mary.
Right.
But I could see it being interesting. I think that, you know, Joe Rogan talks a lot about eating edibles in the float tank.
Yeah.
And that being a really powerful psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
He's also talked about eating mushrooms in the float tank and that being a powerful experience.
I'm just wondering, like, if somebody does it, would they just, like, could you just come out just a different person? Like, your personality is no more.
Well, I mean, I think, but the float itself is a really psychedelic experience, you know?
Yeah.
I think that DMT, or however you're sourcing it, you know, like, is a powerful experience in itself. I don't know if you were... I guess that could happen. I don't know if anybody wants to lose their entire identity in that sense, you know?
I just think, I don't know. I feel like you're putting a lot on the table doing it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Also, too, like, I wouldn't recommend... I would really be kind of... I'd be mildly perturbed if somebody smoked DMT in our float tank because, one, you signed a liability waiver that says you're not high and on drugs.
Right.
Two, you... could potentially kill yourself in my business, which would really not be cool for me.
Yeah.
Because one, I don't want you to die, and two, I don't want to have to close my business down because you did something stupid.
Yeah.
Three, if you make my room smell like mothballs, I'll be really bothered by that. And if for some reason you drop a pipe or a vaporizer into the water and all of a sudden there's DMT in my water, I could imagine that not being cool either.
Does anybody drop anything in the water?
No, not really. I mean, like, every once in a while, like, someone will, like, leave, like, a pen in the room.
Does anybody, like, piss the tank or anything?
No. I mean, I can't 100% say that. It's not like the water turns purple.
Right.
But no, you're laying in the tank with your own water. Like, there's no reason someone would pee their own tank. And you go to the bathroom before you float. You're in there by yourself. And so this actually goes into the question about resistance, right? About people.
Yeah.
Going into the float and being like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, because people think stuff like that. Like, well, what if someone pees in the tank? Like, well, yeah, what if someone pees in the tank? But that's really bizarre. Like, do people pee in hot tubs as much as they pee in pools? I don't believe so. And if they do, and you've got a buddy of yours that pees in your hot tub with you, or pees in the hot tub while he's sitting in there himself,
probably not going to hang out with that person.
Mildly strange. Much. You know, like, I've peed in my wetsuit before surfing, but, like, come on.
But that's because, like, you're in the ocean. You're in the largest body of water possible.
Yeah, you know, I'm like in I'm not in a closed suit, but, like, you know, it's, well, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Don't pee in the float tank. I don't think anybody has. Nobody's ever, like, pooped in the float tank or anything like that.
Yeah.
So people are always, like, with anything, there's always those things that people will say. Whether you sell... You're in sales, or you're in yoga, or floating, or in airline. People say, oh, I'm scared of flying. Or people are always scared of the float tank, right?
Yeah.
Because of a bunch of different things. One, they don't want to be locked in a float tank.
That's true.
Two, the water's dirty. That's what they think. Yeah. And three, they don't want to deal with themselves. and they don't want to try new experiences. So we always say, don't avoid the void, because it's not that scary.
Yeah.
The void. It's really not. It's really rather
You'll come
relaxing.
back. You'll be fine.
Yeah, the void of your own self, people's own thoughts. They think, I won't be able to deal with my own thoughts. Probably what's going to happen is you won't be able to deal with your own thoughts. You'll just go to sleep. Because that's what everybody does. Everyone's like, I won't be able to deal with my own thoughts. And then they just fall asleep and they wake up and they're like, I feel so relaxed right now.
Yeah.
Because it's the best sleep you've ever had in your entire life. So people always think, I don't want to be locked in the tank. I don't want to be locked in a coffin.
Yeah.
Me neither. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Being locked in anything against your will is really scary. But in the float tank, there's no locks on the doors. You don't have to close the lid. You don't have to turn the lights off. It's only a foot of water.
Yeah.
You can put music on if you want to. It's basically like being in a very large, shallow hot tub with a dome on that's open. And people are like, I'm claustrophobic. And it's like, maybe, but probably not.
Yeah.
Most people aren't claustrophobic. They just want to be in control.
Yeah.
And that sense of some control is probably something you should work on. But if you're not claustrophobic in a car flying down the highway with the windows up at 70 miles an hour with a half ton of steel behind you and a bunch of other people whizzing around doing the same thing, you are not claustrophobic in a float tank. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... One's much more dangerous.
That's a
than the
good way
other
to
one
put it, honestly.
Yeah, and if people aren't claustrophobic in their truck or in their car, then you won't be claustrophobic in the tank. And again, you don't have to close the lid, you don't have to turn the lights off, and you can put music on if you want to. But turn the lights off, close the lid, and don't put music on. Get that really good sensory deprivation experience. So cool. It's not scary. The other thing is that we filter the water. Just like a pool or a jacuzzi, whether it's in a hot tub in a pool or a hot tub in a hotel or a hot tub on your parents' back deck. It goes through a filtration system.
There you go.
It's a 1 micron filter. It's 1/100th of a human hair. It's a super fine filter.
There you go.
It filters all of the water in the float tank 3 times in 15 minutes. Not only that, it's got 1,000 pounds of salt in the water. Like we were talking about before, more salty than the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
They call it the Dead Sea because it's so salty nothing can live in the environment. So it's more dead than the Dead Sea is. So on top of that, we use UV filtration, which is so UV, ultraviolet light, inhibits bacteria growth. And then we use a 35% hydrogen peroxide solution in the water, which is an oxidizer, which burns it off. On top of that, we also use ozone in the water. On top of that, you also don't wear a bathing suit, and you shower beforehand, and the water's the same temperature as your skin. What does that mean? It means that you don't sweat. In a hot tub, you get in a hot tub with 3 or 4 of your friends. You're all wearing bathing suits. Those bathing suits were in the Southside Quarry. Those bathing suits were in the Ohio River. Those bathing suits were in someone else's chlorine pool. And you threw them on your back deck, and then you put them back on. You jumped in a hot tub with your friends drinking beer. I'm totally down to do that. Let's go. You got a hot tub? Let's go drink beer in the hot tub. But if someone's going to be like, ew, the float tank's gross, I'm like, no, the hot tub's way grosser.
Yeah.
Same with a pool, same exact thing. In a pool, you got people swimming in it, spitting water out of their mouths, peeing in it, little kids in it, jumping in and out, tons of people in it. Exerting energy and you're sweating. In a float tank, the water's the same temperature as your body, and you shower first. How many people shower before they get into the hot tub or pool? Not many people.
None.
How many people go naked in their hot tub or pool? And if you don't want to go naked in the float tank, that's too because you think it's gross. That's cool. You can wear a bathing suit, but you're actually making the float tank grosser. And you're actually not making the float tank grosser because the float tank will be totally fine with your bathing suit in there.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about it being gross, you're actually making it, quote, grosser by bringing in the lint of a bathing suit or something like that. So there's really no concern for the float tank being dirty. As long as it's upkept. And
you nailed that on the head, by the way. You nailed that. Nailed that.
The reason is because that's the thing that people say to us most often. And it's also the thing. And we also monitor the pH and alkalinity in the tanks and the density of the water. And we take 2 to 3 testings of water a day, and we all have it in a charted graph. So if anybody would ever come in and say, hey, your float tank gave me a rash, I'd say, well, Mr. So-and-so, you floated here 4 times, and over the course of 2.5 years, our levels have always maintained in this same thing, so I don't know if it's us, probably something else in your environment,
Right.
So Brandon Cohen, who's town councilman for the